This is going down at Fox. It's a real problem. The Fox News apparently allows employees to use bathrooms that align with their gender identity. They also, I think, there's a couple other measures. I can't remember exactly what they are. We'll hear from here. This is being leaked out there. There's an attack on Fox News. I have to say I'm enjoying this. Mm-hmm. There's this little war that's going on with Tucker Carlson and all these others. But you should also know that Fox News's offices are in New York City. And in New York City, there are laws that basically mandate these things. Mm-hmm. So they're just following the law, but I am enjoying this. Here is Rob Schmidt and Rick Leventhal on
the Media Matters player is just not working on any computer I have here, so I don't know if we can play this video, but I can get the story from the Daily Signal for us to look.
Okay, all right, well, we'll hold off on that.
Yeah. What? So something's going on over there, I guess.
Try a different browser maybe, but it's not working on Chrome.
We will get to that in a bit. Let's go to the IMs. Henlo's mushy. To quote Ric Flair, it's Tuesday, Woosday. Nutner Fazy. Read my IM name correctly, man. Nut in your...
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Millennial, we got that?
Hilarious.
Clip? All right, so let me restart this here. There's a battle going on with Fox News, and I presume it is coming from Tucker Carlson's. The Tucker Carlson is sort of behind
the stay behind units.
Yeah, they, Tucker Carlson. There was a piece I don't know a couple of weeks ago saying that he was about to wage all-out war on Fox News, and here's the thing, I can't tell you how much I enjoy all of it. I would like to see them rip each other to shreds and then eat each other. And so that it's like that final scene in Reservoir Dogs. People remember that?
Yes.
Where everybody gets shot and really one guy just barely makes it out alive. I don't even think he does at the end of the day. If that was possible with all of these organizations, I would sit and I would applaud it. But they're being criticized. Here it's been leaked that Fox offices allow people to use the bathroom based upon their gender identity. I know. Horrible. And there's other things but all of this is mandated by New York City, where these offices are. Now, it's a scandal in my mind that they would be in New York City.
Yeah.
Because of all the taxes and all the hippy dippies running around. But
not to mention the crime, yeah.
The incredible crime.
They can't stop talking about how dirty
South Carolina.
It is. Yeah.
Make their Fox people go in through this war zone.
It smells like weed everywhere now.
Everywhere. And but here is Rob Schmidt and Rick Leventhal from Newsmax. They're reporting on this. Where does Newsmax broadcast out of?
I do know this because I have been a guest on Newsmax.
And they're in New York?
Oh, yeah. I think they're in 57th Street or something like that.
I got some news for you. These people also have to comport with New York City law. That's good.
The Daily Signal, Fox News employees are allowed to use bathrooms that align with their gender identity inside the building rather than their biological sex. And they must be addressed by their preferred name and pronouns in the workplace. All these policies reportedly outlined in the company's employee handbook, according to the Daily Signal. The handbook promises that Fox is dedicated to expanding and strengthening efforts to sustain a more inclusive work environment. It also states that employees who are transitioning their gender have the right to be open about their transition and work in an environment free of harassment, discrimination, and without fear of transphobia. It doesn't even stop there. The handbook allegedly...
Whoa! Because all that stuff is straightforwardly correct and moral.
Mm-hmm.
and the law.
But they don't stop there. Go ahead.
Terms like cisgender, gender fluid, and non-binary. They're citing the Human Rights Campaign as well, one of the most prominent LGBTQ organizations in the country as a source. And as you can see on the screen, Fox is proud to be aligned with the Human Rights Campaign, receiving a perfect score on the Human Rights Campaign's Corporate Equality Index, a report measuring corporate policies and practices related to LGBTQ plus workplace equality. You're starting to kind of get a feeling here about maybe why Tucker was fired and how it's changing over at Fox.
Pause it for 1 second.
Why he was fired?
Yeah.
Because wouldn't it be much more noble if he saw the wokeness and resigned in protest?
I cannot abide this bathroom.
I can't go to the bathroom for fear that there will be a man in the bathroom without a male sex organ.
If this stuff is coming from Tucker's camp, I also just feel like some people have said this on Twitter, but it is also foregrounds like Newsmax is so desperate and thirsty for Tucker to join Newsmax. Like they will do anything for him to come to their network.
Even potentially violate New York state law to make people go to bathrooms that don't comport with their gender identity.
It reminds me of that William F. Buckley quote: "A conservative is someone who stands athwart history or a bathroom door, yelling stop at a time when no one is inclined to do so, or to have much patience for those who so urge it."
Newsmax, the bathroom door security guards. Thank you.
Pretty crazy what's going on over there with their bathroom door policy.
I'm looking at. I am looking at the Division of Human Rights guidance on protections from gender identity discrimination under New York State human rights law. Okay, and here it is. You can pop this up for a second if you want. And this is issued January 29, 2020. Page 6, refusing to use an individual's requested name, pronoun, or title. Refusing to allow individuals to use facilities consistent with their self-identified gender. That's on page 7. Go to page 6, and it is quite clear. Misgendering occurs when a person's not referred to with pronouns that are consistent with their gender identity. Refusing to use requested names or titles is also misgendering. Under HRL, a covered entity, including an employer, housing provider, educational institution, or owner-operator of place of public accommodation, may not deliberately refuse to use an individual's requested name, pronoun, or title if the refusal is motivated by the individual's actual or perceived gender identity or expression. Okay, now page 7, refusing to allow individuals to use facilities consistent with their self-identified gender.
Should be an investigation by New York City authorities into this business. I think this guy's asking for it.
Regardless of the type of sex-segregated facilities available, a covered entity must allow individuals to use facilities that are consistent with their gender identity, regardless of individual sex assigned at birth, anatomy, gender, medical history, appearance, or sex indicated on the individual's identification. In other words, if Newsmax is broadcasting out of New York State or city, they are subject to these same laws. What's amazing is how ballsy they are to do this when they know their employee handbook, or maybe their employee handbook doesn't say it, but they are subject to the exact same laws. Now, I would imagine their employee handbook should say it because they could open themselves up to some type of legal challenge by an employee there. I'm not suggesting someone at Newsmax does that, but if you're listening to the sound of my voice,
Please file a complaint.
and let us know about it.
But of course, like hypothetically, if there is a non-binary or trans employee at Newsmax, and this is actually not their policy, they absolutely could file some claim at the end.
Absolutely no way it is not their policy. Of course it's their policy. What is ballsy about this is that they know it's their policy, and yet they're still doing this.
But they know that Fox is not going to name them. Fox feels like they're above naming Newsmax, which they probably are.
They should be, yeah.
They don't need to worry about the little fish. So they know they can, jab at Fox, and it's not going to come back to bite them, really.
But it is, think about what's involved in the hubris here, because they know that there is no way to reach their lunatic fringe audience other than directly on Newsmax. And so if it's not going to be on Newsmax, whoever is the lunatics that watch this show for their news are never going to hear about it. Understand the implications of this, because that means they can say anything. anything, and there's no way for anybody who is a dedicated viewer of Newsmax to find out anything else. I mean, like, this is so blatant. But continue.
About maybe why Tucker was fired and how it's changing over at Fox, the brand we've known for so long. Veteran journalist and former longtime Fox News correspondent Rick Leventhal is back with us tonight. Ooh. Good to have you back on, sir. What's your take on this one?
Where is he, at the beach?
I kind of think Roger Ailes is rolling over in his grave right now, Rob.
So.
This is not the Fox that you and I knew very well. I understand that they might feel the need to comply with New York City human rights law, which calls for similar open bathroom policies for people who say they identify as a different sex.
Open bathroom.
But personally, I would have an issue if there are women in a restroom and a biological male who says he identifies as a woman goes in and to use that restroom. And what I think is the most shocking about this is that if the women in the restroom don't like it, if they're uncomfortable, they're the ones who have to go and use a single-use restroom.
Can you pause it? I'm sorry. Is that a fate worse than death? Honestly,
I prefer that one.
The single-use ones are great. They're usually cleaner. You have all the privacy. You don't have to worry about peeking over the stall and looking at their genitals because actually,
no fun.
There's
no fun.
You don't. Yeah.
No fun in that.
What's an open bathroom policy?
They don't.
No doors.
At Fox, they have no doors.
Right. Yeah. They have those toilets that face each other.
You have to let an illegal non-citizen come in and use the bathroom with you. Otherwise, it's against the law.
And everyone,
look them in the eyes as you're going to the bathroom.
Everyone, regardless of how they identify, only can use urinals. You just got to figure out a way of doing it. Mm-hmm. That's it. Period.
That's literally a Curb Your Enthusiasm thing.
It's like if somebody came in and you'd have a problem. It's called a legal problem because you're discriminating.
Right. But the amazing thing is, here he is saying it's New York City law, and this guy, the Newsmax guy, maybe he's not broadcasting from New York, but I mean, I can't help but think that if I was this Newsmax guy and I was doing this segment, just like I'd have this pit in my stomach, like, please don't mention that we do the same thing here. We're subject to the same laws. It's just amazing to me. Go ahead.
Wants to use the women's restroom. So the women are the ones who are being kicked out.
And you know what's
transgender person,
right? And what this all really boils down to, this is just one example of this big, woke machine that has all of these massive companies, which Fox is a massive company that's publicly traded, and it's got, everybody's mortified of what these different organizations with their agendas, like the Human Rights Campaign and like that, the ad and the DEI. What's the advertising one that always comes after us as well? It's like people, the disinformation index. People are mortified. Companies are mortified of this agenda, and they're doing everything they can to bend the knee to them as fast as they can.
Well, I don't really understand it. It almost feels like bullying at this point. That the people who say they need to be protected are now forcing their beliefs on the people around them. And listen, I fully support anyone who wants to change their gender once they've reached a mature enough age to make those kinds of decisions. If you want to change your gender, that's fine. But if people are uncomfortable with someone who's still a biological male being in a ladies' room, I think the law is backwards. I think that those people who decide they want to change their sex should use the single-serve bathroom unless and until they actually do become a woman. I don't even know how you describe that.
Okay, so this is why Rick Leventhal will station himself in front of the men's and women's bathrooms to determine the genitalia of every person walking in. Or maybe there could be,
and that's to the left of Newsmax.
Yeah, it is. He got a little. He was like, "Oh, I'm tripping over myself." I'm showing the fact that, as Bradley has informed me, he's married to a Real Housewife of Orange County. This correspondent. So maybe he's like a little bit less crazy cray cray. He's more in some.
You might say, if you're an adult, I don't care what.
Well, maybe what they could do is install. They could install a scanning device where you just push your groin into the scanning device.
We got to be able to use AI. AI could be able to figure this out easy.
Exactly.
Totally.
All right, go ahead.
we all know how complicated it's. Whatever you've got, under your belt probably should align with what bathroom you're in, I guess, is probably what it should be. So I don't know
that should be the determining factor on which bathroom you use.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Exactly. Thanks for blowing
Who checks?
Who checks? I guess it's this guy.
They're not even close to like actually grappling with the details of this issue.
The genitalia police.
Rick's on it. Rick is on it. Here's something that'll blow their minds. I've been in bathrooms, like in New York City, that don't even have genders and they're mixed.
Yeah. And probably for
individuals stall next to each other with sinks in the middle, and I believe that maybe I've been in a toilet stall next to a man in a toilet stall.
And Emma, let me ask you this: people might not understand this, but that's actually better for women, because my understanding is that the lines for women's bathrooms are often way worse. Mm-hmm. So when you have everything like this, you're able to move traffic in a little bit.
That is absolutely true.
My college had co-ed dorm floors, and
yes, it did mine.
We would have co-ed bathrooms.
Wow. I mean, that's when you bought into the trans agenda really early on.
Totally.
Yeah, it sounds like some Massachusetts
liberal gobbledygook.
It didn't even occur to me. I thought it was like a little bit weird, but it was only weird because I was like, I was like 17, 18. I'm like, there are girls. I'm going to be living on the same building as girls.
Yep.
It's not weird because I'm not really worried about the genitalia of the person going to the bathroom next to me.
If somebody does something aggressive and criminal in a bathroom, it's against the law, regardless of like what their gender expression is.
Exactly.
Simple.
But I am really curious as to how they plan to execute this plan to police the sexual organs of their workers.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious what's going on at Newsmax. I would like to blow the lid off the Newsmax story. So if we have anybody who works at Newsmax, I will tell you this: I am constantly amazed. We have had people write into this show who work at almost every big right-wing show there is. Mm-hmm. Oh, we never reached out to that dude. Oh, we got to talk about that afterwards.
We should have like a Project Veritas style undercover thing going into Newsmax, and if we have any trans listeners who can get into Newsmax,
don't reveal
get in touch.
I kind of am a prime candidate, honestly, but I might be on camera too often. They might be able to figure it out.